Dub Nation, you might want to sit down for this one, because this one's heavy. Draymond Green went on his own show and dropped a line that's already blowing up all over the NBA world. And look, this isn't some random rumor from a burner account on Twitter. This is Draymond on camera, talking about Nikola Jokic wearing a Golden State Warriors jersey. I'm not exaggerating here, he said it, and I'm going to repeat exactly what he said. The Joker is coming to Dub Nation in San Francisco. Stop, take a breath, and think about that with me for a second. The best player on the planet, 3-time MVP, a champion, and the guy sitting inside the Warriors locker room is out here teasing it like it's already a done deal. But here's the funny part. In that same week this bomb dropped, we also found out the Warriors locker room is far from a bed of roses. There's real contract tension brewing with Podziemski. There's the whole LeBron James pursuit that blew up in their faces. And now, out of nowhere, a Klay Thompson reunion rumor shows up right on top of all of it. This is not a normal offseason for the Warriors, folks. It's chaos, it's hope, it's that tightness in your chest, and a possible championship reset all happening at the same time. So let's break down every single piece of this story, because by the end of this video, you're going to understand exactly where the Golden State Warriors are heading, and why this might be the most interesting stretch in franchise history. Let's start with Jokic, because that's the headline breaking the internet right now. Here's the situation. Jokic has a player option for the 2027 to 28 season, and instead of locking in an extension with Denver this summer, he chose to wait. He's holding all the leverage in his hands, and that delay alone is enough to make every big team in the league start dreaming, Golden State included. The expectation is that the Warriors will have plenty of salary cap space around the summer of 2027, right around the time this Jokic decision could happen. So when Draymond Green, a guy who's literally inside the building, starts throwing more fuel on that fire in public, you can't just brush it off. He even admitted there's already a wave of chatter going around the Bay Area about Jokic, and that it's only going to get louder as we get closer to Christmas, depending on how the teams are performing. But hold on, Dub Nation. Before you all go celebrating, Jokic himself has been putting out a very different message. After Serbia's win over Bosnia and Herzegovina in FIBA World Cup qualifying, he went straight to the point about this extension talk. His words were, "My idea is to sign next summer and stay in Denver for the rest of my career." He doubled down that his wish is to stay a Nugget forever, but then he dropped a line that keeps this whole story alive. "It depends on them if they want me." That's the crack in the door, Dub Nation. That's the sentence that's got front offices paying close attention, because Jokic isn't guaranteeing anything. He threw the pressure right back on Denver, and Denver right now is in a shaky spot, coming off a disappointing exit in the 2026 playoffs, and they're going to have to make tough calls just to build flexibility around their franchise guy. So does Golden State actually have a real shot in this race? Picture this. A 39-year-old Steph Curry throwing lobs to a prime Nikola Jokic, surrounded by a young core of Podziemski, Yaxel, Lendeborg, and Moses Moody. Not the sexiest scenario in the world, I'll admit, but it's a real possibility the Warriors front office is definitely keeping an eye on. And speaking of Podziemski, this is where things get genuinely tense inside that locker room. Podziemski just wrapped up his 3rd NBA season, and he's been one of the most talked about young players in the league, for better and for worse. He played all 82 games last season without missing a single one. He showed real flashes, averaging 17.5 points, 6.2 rebounds, and 4.1 assists after the All-Star break. That's legit production, but now he's heading into contract negotiations, reportedly asking for somewhere between $22 and $24 million a year, and Golden State hasn't confirmed that number yet. And here's the twist nobody saw coming. The Warriors re-signed D'Anthony Melton, a new 2-year, $12.4 million deal, a decision a lot of people out there are calling controversial, since there were more dynamic offensive options available on the market. And that move could directly threaten Podziemski's starting spot. People who cover the team closely believe it could be Melton, not Podziemski, starting next to Curry next season, because Melton's shooting and defense fit better alongside a guard who dominates the ball as much as Steph does. And if that happens, Podziemski could end up on the bench, right when he's fighting for the biggest contract of his career. Bleacher Report has already called him the Warriors player with the most to prove this season. Brutal timing, honestly. All right, before we get to the Klay Thompson news, let me say something real quick. This is exactly the kind of story you can't afford to miss when it breaks. So if you're new here to the channel, go ahead and drop a like on this video and subscribe right now, because it genuinely helps this channel keep bringing you Warriors news before anybody else does. All right, back to it. Now let's talk about the gut punch of this offseason. Golden State spent the entire summer chasing LeBron James. Steph Curry even met with him personally in June. At the time, there were reports that both sides were genuinely talking about a partnership, and that real momentum was building toward free agency. But in the end, LeBron chose the Philadelphia 76ers, and that failure was so big that ESPN's Kendrick Perkins went on national TV and said Steph Curry needs to start planning his exit from Golden State. His point was pretty blunt. The Warriors have been stuck in the play-in tournament for 4 straight years, the Western Conference is brutal, and there's no more time to keep betting that the front office is going to figure it out on its own. That's a pretty harsh take to level at a franchise with 4 championships to its name. But just when it seemed like the mood couldn't get any heavier, a new report surfaced that could flip this whole thing around. Golden State has shown real interest in bringing Klay Thompson back if he becomes available on the buyout market. Sources close to the team say Thompson would be, and here's the quote, received with open arms if he can work out a release and return to free agency. And there's growing belief that Klay could reunite with Steph and Draymond to retire together with the franchise where he won 4 rings. Just think about what that would mean. The trio that built an entire dynasty, Curry, Thompson, and Green, getting one last run together in the Bay. That doesn't erase the disappointment with LeBron, obviously, but it might just be the fairy tale ending Warriors fans have been quietly waiting for ever since Klay left for Dallas. So here's where things stand with Golden State right now. A LeBron pursuit that completely fell apart. A young guard in Podziemski fighting for his role and his next contract. A former teammate in Klay Thompson who might be coming home. And, on top of all of it, a tease from Draymond Green that the Joker himself could one day wear the blue and gold. It's a lot, I know. It's messy. It hits you emotionally. But that's exactly why the Warriors are still must-watch basketball even in a rebuilding year. So I want to hear from you right now, Dub Nation. If you had to pick just one thing, what actually saves this Golden State era? Klay coming home for one last run, or the Warriors somehow, some way, landing Nikola Jokic in 2027? Drop your answer down in the comments because I read every single one, and I want to see this Warriors army going at it down there. See you in the next video.